how I wish that the Office of the Attorney General were reading from the same script. There is no way you can separate the two advisories. This is the reason.
What I want you to do, since you don't have a letter,
Mr. Chair, if you allow me.
Listen first. If you don't have a letter from the AG, if you don't have a copy, don't refer to it.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, your ruling has got very serious consequences, especially on the integrity of the Cabinet Secretary of ICT. How will a Cabinet Secretary of ICT receive a report that is quoting a letter in that report? He goes ahead to act on that report and gazette the people who have been recommended in that. That means there's serious integrity we are raising also in the fight of the ICT. That's what I'm saying. If we are going to disregard that, we are going to open a Pandora's box that will raise a lot of questions. Having said that, Mr. Chair.
Point of order, Chair.
Yes. What we told you, Oduor, is if you have that letter and you are the chair of the selection panel and you have a file yourself, can we step down what you are saying until you give us a letter? Otherwise, you are impugning ulterior motive.
Exactly.
Yeah, on some people. Yes, give us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When a former chairman of the selection panel, don't bring the integrity of the CS, Minister of ICT. It is your own integrity. You are talking of an opinion from the Solicitor General, which is contrary to what we are having before us. We are only asking you one thing. As the chairman of the selection committee, can you give us that opinion? If you don't have it, then you don't need to be talking about it.
Please.
Mr. Chair, this is a house of record.
You need to withdraw.
Okay, Mr. Chair, this
you withdraw and apologize.
Mr. Chair, I withdraw and apologize. But I want to state that, Mr. Chair, this is a house of records. We can't run away from the truth. With me here is a letter written to the Attorney General by Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of ICT, seeking that opinion. Mr. Chair, as a former chair of the selection panel, just like you are the chair of this committee, you don't keep the records. The records are kept by the Parliament, if I'm not wrong. In the same case, the records of the selection committee were kept by the ministry and by the secretary to the selection panel, who is seated here, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, I did say that I wrote to the ministry, to Cabinet Secretary ICT, copied to the PS who is seated here, requesting that I be allowed to access that file and come with it here. Mr. Speaker, the letter was received. I have a copy. I'll table. Up to date, that letter has not been responded to. So that's what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker. Records are kept, and even Hansard is there. So we can't run away saying that we cannot refer to a document where I have a letter here requesting for it. Having said that, Mr. Speaker,
if you have the letter requesting, yes, how did you get that copy and you are not able to get the response? I mean, we are just asking a simple question.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, this is a copy that
so simple, and it's clear as day and night. I mean, we have all gone to school. You are telling us you have the letter requested, yes, and you don't have the response.
Mr. Chair, if you are fair enough, I will be requesting the secretary who received the letter here, seated here in this house, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
If indeed they received that opinion, Mr.
What
Chair.
we want you to do, don't refer to that letter. Just proceed. Tell us.
Okay, Mr.
Point of order.
Yes, yes.
Point of order.
Yes.
You know, this is a house of record, and I want to make it very clear to the parties here that in the event this committee finds out the truth around the status of this letter, it will be an offense to appear before this committee to mislead this committee in any way. So for the parties, whether it is the AG's office or whether it is a selection panel, you must note that in the event the committee finds out the truth about the letters, we are going to take action against the parties involved.
And we have already a petition, so
yes,
when you come to this meeting where we have a petition from Otieno Churchill, you get that. Yes. Yes,
Chairman.
Okay. Let's give us.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just wondering on the former Chair of Selection Committee. We agree there was a request to get an opinion. That is normal. And you can talk and talk and talk, but you cannot suggest you got the opinion or you drew the opinion from the request. We are asking, can we get that opinion from the Solicitor General? Don't tell us there was a request and it was like this. No. If it is not there, say it is not there.
Mr. Chair, for the record, and like Honorable Sosi has said, that if you are here to mislead the House, let action be taken if the truth is actually will come out. Because I'm talking of something I know, and I can even swear, Mr. Chair, that indeed the letter is, and that can actually bring to the light the controversy and the confusion that is going, where a letter can disappear and is not being asked. The minister is here, Mr. Chair, you are not asking the minister to produce the letter.
We are going to ask, we have not asked questions. We have given you opportunity to do your presentation.
Okay,
so
Mr. Chair.
Please go ahead.
I just wanted to make that so that at least we protect the integrity of the process. Number two, Mr. Chair, indeed, when the advertisement was made, this was supposed to be a part-time job, as it was indicated. Again, the advertisement was prepared and gazetted and published in the media by the ministry. Out of the 7 whom were recommended for the appointment for this position, only 1 did not have a job. Tim Wanyonyi, who said that he was a part-time lecturer at Aga Khan University of Graduate Studies. The chair of the board said he was a lecturer at Riara University. Tabitha Mutemi said that he was an employee of IEBC. Rosaline Obala said that he was an employee of Standard Group. Stanley Muragen Njoroge said that he was a lecturer at KCA. Right now, he's even a council member of Rongo University. Patience Nyange was an employee of Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights. There was another member who has since resigned, who at that particular time was a board member of another bank, Mr. Speaker. So at the time the selection committee was making a decision, we were well aware that these people have to leave, Mr. Chairman. They have to earn a living because they will only be attending the board meetings of the Media Council of Kenya for the purposes of formulating policy. Because, Mr. Chair, they cannot rely alone on the allowances they get from the board of the Media Council, allowances for the purposes of survival. So the selection panel was very much aware that these people had day jobs. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, and something that must also, that's why I'm saying that the Attorney General can run away from this. And you heard the CEO of the Media Council, first of all, disowning the ministry, saying that MCK is an independent organization. That brings us to the question, and why this Office of the Attorney General can run away from. Is Media Council of Kenya a state corporation? That is what we sought, and that is why another opinion that I've been told not to refer to is very important, because that opinion was very extensive, comprehensive, referring to the act that this very committee actually passed, stating very well that Media Council is an independent institution as established by Article 34 of the Constitution, which states that Parliament shall enact a law establish a body that will be free from state interference. Mr. Speaker, I don't know if state corporations are free from state interference. We shall be free from political interference. We shall be free from commercial interference. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, even at the selection committee, we were convinced that the Media Council is free from state interference and therefore is not classified as a state corporation, Mr. Speaker. So that is why our position was that as a selection panel, anybody who was serving from any public office was allowed to sit and serve in the board of the Media Council. And Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
When I grow up.
Okay, yes. Mr. Chairman, why I'm saying that the decision that this committee is going to pass will have grave consequences if we do not follow the truth. What we are going to say is here, that we are going to declare, because what we are going here, and from the submission from the Solicitor General, and from the submission from Mr. Nyaundi, they are declaring Media Council a state corporation.
Point of order, Chair.
Yes.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just wondering, is he in order to lecture which position the committee is about to take? I thought he's meant to present, then we'll make a decision based on that. He should not be lecturing us on the implication and the effects of the decision that we make as a committee.
Yeah, what the member is saying, have you read our minds?
No, Mr. Speaker,
I've not. Oduor, what I also want you to do, can you take your line? You are former chairman of the selection panel. So don't poke holes on what anybody else has said. Speak about what you did.
Mr. Speaker, I hold an elected position of journalist in this country.
Yeah, just speak on what you did.
Mr. Chair,
speak on what you did.
And Mr. Chair, whatever I say, and whatever will come from the report of this committee, I'll have to live with it for the rest of my life, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, when I sit here, Mr. Chairman, I must state it very clearly. So when the day of judgment comes, I will be able to say that when I appeared before the committee, this is what I did, Mr. Chair.
Anything else? I think you're done.
I'm not done, Mr. Chair.
I'll get a minute.
2 minutes, Mr. Speaker, is enough. Mr. Speaker, we are here to defend the law that was passed by... Mr. Chair, we are here to defend the law that was passed by this committee. And this committee, Mr. Chair, passed a law and provided the process of removing a member or a chair of the board member. We have no problem if the Attorney General could have changed his mind. Why didn't the Attorney General advise for the removal to be done in accordance with the law? Mr. Chair, I still know that if you go to your own standing order, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, go to standing order number 223F, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair. It stipulates that even before we get here, the media industry does not exist in a vacuum. There are stakeholders who are supposed to sit and find if there is a problem. That is what actually your standing order says. That before a matter comes here, it has to go to the stakeholders so that in the event that this matter is not conclusively tackled at that particular level by relevant authorities, Mr. Chair, that's when it ends here. So, Mr. Chair, let us defend the law that was passed by this House. For the record again, Mr. Chair, it doesn't mean that the position we are taking sides. Either we are supporting Tabitha or we have a problem with Mr. Umoyo. Mr. Umoyo is my friend and we talk. And we are also just trying to help him to defend a law that established office he is serving in. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Fine, all good, okay.